Hello, viewers. Welcome to our channel Mindset by Frankie, where we explore groundbreaking ideas that can change your life. Have you ever wondered why you make some decisions in an instant, while others take hours of deliberation? Today, we embark on an intellectual journey through the brilliant mind of Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman and his groundbreaking work, Thinking, Fast and Slow. Imagine unlocking the secrets of your own mind to make smarter choices and achieve better outcomes in both your personal and professional life. Stay with us as we dive deep into this fascinating book and uncover the hidden processes behind our decisions. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, make sure you do so now, so you don't miss out on any future videos. Let's get started. My name is Frankie, and I'm here to guide you through this enlightening journey. System 1 and System 2 thinking. Daniel Kahneman distinguishes between two systems of thinking, System 1 and System 2. Imagine you are on your way to work, and suddenly the car in front of you brakes sharply. Without thinking, you also hit the brakes. This is your System 1 in action. It's fast, automatic, and intuitive. Later, at work, your boss gives you a complex problem to solve. You sit down, think it through, analyze the information, and only then make a decision. This is your System 2 at work. It's slow, deliberate, and logical. System 1 is quick and automatic, often relying on intuition and instinct. System 2 is slow and analytical, requiring conscious thought and effort. In practice, we can see the difference between these systems, for example, when shopping. You walk into a store and see a big sign saying 50% off. Your System 1 might immediately react, prompting you to take advantage of the offer without considering whether you actually need the item. On the other hand, if you take time to consider all factors, like whether you can afford it or if you already have a similar item, your System 2 can help you make a more considered decision. A practical example might be, you go to view houses, and the first one you see is beautiful and very expensive. Your System 1 is excited and wants to buy it immediately. However, your System 2 makes you think about your budget and whether this is the best choice. In personal life, it is useful to know when to rely on System 1 and when to use System 2. For example, in sports activities where quick reactions are needed, System 1 is invaluable. But for decisions with long-term consequences, like investing money or choosing a career, it's better to rely on System 2. Priming and negative priming. You've just returned from the cinema, where you watched a superhero movie. Immediately after getting home, you start exercising, inspired by the strength and endurance of the characters. This is the priming effect. Recent experiences influence your current behavior. Priming means our thoughts and behaviors are influenced by recent experiences, even if we don't realize it. Negative priming is the opposite, where negative experiences reduce our willingness or ability to act. Negative priming is the opposite effect. Suppose you've spent the whole day listening to pessimistic news about the economy. When you get home, you are less inclined to invest your money because you've been influenced by negative information. An example of priming might be reading an article about successful entrepreneurs before going for a job interview. This priming can boost your confidence and improve your performance. In practice, priming can be very useful. For instance, if you're a manager wanting to motivate your team, you can start the meeting with a positive story or an inspirational video. This can set a positive tone for the entire meeting and increase productivity. Anchor effect. You go to a store to buy a new TV. The first TV you see costs €2,000. All the other TVs you see afterward are compared to this price. This initial price becomes an anchor, affecting your perception of all other prices. The anchor effect is a cognitive bias where we rely too heavily on the first piece of information, the anchor, when making decisions. Another example might be negotiating a salary. If you set a high initial amount, this becomes the anchor, and the final agreed amount will likely be higher. In personal life, we can use the anchor effect when negotiating salaries. If you start with a high amount, this becomes the anchor, and the final agreed amount will likely be higher than if you started with a lower amount. Framing effect. A doctor tells you that a surgery has a 90% success rate. You feel quite calm and positive. Now, imagine the same doctor tells you that the surgery has a 10% failure rate. Although the information is identical, you feel much more worried. This is the framing effect. the way information is presented influences our decisions and feelings. The framing effect means that people react differently to the same information depending on how it is presented. An example could be a marketing campaign. If a company presents a product as having 20% off, it might attract more customers than if it were presented as pay 80% of the price. In professional life, we can use the framing effect when presenting projects. If you frame information positively, it can increase the likelihood that your colleagues and bosses will support your proposal. Halo effect: you meet someone new who is very attractive. Immediately, you think this person is also intelligent and competent, even though you don't know anything about them. This is the halo effect, the tendency to judge people based on one positive trait. The halo effect is a cognitive bias where positive attributes in one area affect our perception of their other qualities. An example might be in the workplace, where a colleague who is always smiling and pleasant is perceived as highly capable, even though this might not necessarily be true. In practice, the halo effect can influence job interviews. If a candidate appears confident and professional, we might assume they have all the other necessary qualities, even if that's not the case. Being aware of this effect can help us make more objective decisions. Loss aversion. You have the option to gain €100 or lose €100. Most people would feel the loss much more intensely than the gain. This is loss aversion, the tendency to prefer avoiding losses rather than acquiring equivalent gains. Loss aversion means that losses have a greater emotional impact on us than gains of the same size. An example could be an investor who doesn't want to sell stocks that have lost value because they don't want to acknowledge the loss, even though it might be wiser to invest the money elsewhere. In personal life, loss aversion can affect our investment decisions. We might be too conservative and avoid risk because we fear loss, which could prevent us from achieving potential gains. Understanding loss aversion can help us make more balanced decisions and be more open to opportunities that involve some risk. Conclusion: by delving into the concepts from Thinking, Fast and Slow, Daniel Kahneman provides us with a deeper understanding of human decision-making. Recognizing these patterns allows us to navigate our personal and professional lives more effectively, making decisions that better reflect our true interests and goals. This book is not just a read, it's a journey to better understanding human thought and improving our decision-making processes. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to our channel Mindset by Frankie, and share it with your friends. If you have questions or want to share your experiences, leave us a comment below. Have you ever experienced a situation where you reacted quickly without thinking? Write to us in the comments. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.